Less Taken contains content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Listeners' discretion is advised.
Less Taken.
Fall, 1989. Lori Andrezzi, 24, leaves the clatters of glassware and the stench of fryer grease behind as she exits the jury room bar and grill in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. She hurries through the dimly lit parking lot to her car, eager to escape the long shift. All she wants is to cruise home, relax, and drift off to sleep. With only the soft hum of her tires against the road to break the silence, Lori sets out on the long, desolate stretch known as Bray Rd. The nice part about taking this road late at night is the solitude. The downside is the wildlife, emboldened by the lack of human presence. You never know what kind of creature might cross your path in the wee hours. A few minutes into the drive, Lori spots a large, shadowy figure by the roadside. She slows down, squinting to make sense of its shape. Is it an animal hunched over in pain? Does it need help? Is it dead? Against her better judgment, Lori puts her car into park. She takes a deep breath, opens the driver's door, and steps out into the silent night. Slowly, Lori walks toward the figure, its silhouette barely visible in the moonlight. Why is she doing this? Surely it's not one of her best ideas. Still, curiosity propels her forward. What if it's a struggling animal, fighting for life and desperate for help? As she draws near, it becomes clear that Lori isn't looking at someone's lost pet. Whatever this is, it's massive, and it's certainly not injured or dead. Shrouded in darkness, hunched over, is a large creature, at least 5 feet 5 inches tall, and easily over 150 pounds, with dark brown fur and long, nasty claws. Claws that it's currently using to viciously dissect roadkill. So far, Lori's been lucky that the beast has been too occupied with its meal to notice her. There's not much left of what it's eating, and she can only hope it won't still be hungry when it's done. Lori is nearly entranced by the sight of this thing. She's not quite sure if she's looking at some kind of coyote or wolf. There's something disturbingly human about it. If she didn't know any better, she'd swear she's looking at a creature that's a mix of both. Then, the nauseating, guttural sounds of the animal eating cease, and the beast starts to stand up. Welcome back. You're listening to Bray Rd, the latest episode from Less Taken, Season 3. In this episode, we'll explore the terrifying legends surrounding the beast-of-bray-road in Elkhorn, Wisconsin, through a series of different stories. Be sure to let us know what you think of this episode when you're done by leaving a fair rating and review wherever you're listening. And if you truly enjoy the show, be sure to subscribe with downloads on and tell a friend. You can also support the show and leave reviews by visiting our website, lesstakenpod.com. I'm Sam Humphreys, and this is Less Taken. Real-life horror stories from the Midwest. Once again, thanks for listening, and I hope you enjoy Bray Rd. August 5th, 1936. Mark Shackleman, a night watchman at the St. Coletta School for Exceptional Children, trudges through the fields under the paling moonlight. The school, a former Franciscan convent, is surrounded by wide open fields and alleged ancient Native American burial grounds. As Mark makes his rounds, the only sounds are the crunch of his boots on the gravel path and the distant hoot of an owl. Otherwise, the night is eerily quiet. He tightens his grip on his flashlight, its beam cutting through the darkness. Mark's light catches something unusual. A large shadowy figure stands near one of the burial mounds. His heart pounds in his chest as he squints, trying to make out what he's seeing. The figure is bent over, its form indistinct but undeniably massive for any local wildlife. Mark's instincts scream at him to turn back, but curiosity and a sense of responsibility propel him forward. He takes another breath and steps closer, his flashlight trembling in his hand. The figure begins to take shape, a hairy, humanoid creature standing between 5 and 6 feet tall, with dark fur and long, menacing claws. The creature is engrossed in something on the ground, its claws tearing into what looks like a small animal. Mark's stomach churns at the sight, but he can't tear his eyes away. It's like he's seeing something fictional come to life, a monster that should only exist in our dreams. The creature's movements are both animalistic and disturbingly human, a grotesque blend of both man and beast. As Mark inches closer, the creature stops and lifts its head. Its eyes, glowing with an unnatural light, lock onto his. For a moment, time stands still. The night watchman is frozen in place. His eyes are in lockstep with the creature's every movement. Then, with a loud growl, the beast rises to its full height. Mark stumbles backward, his flashlight flickering as he tries to keep the creature within his sights. The beast takes another step toward him, its claws glinting in the moonlight. Mark turns and runs, but he can still hear the sounds of the creature's pursuit echoing behind him. He continues running, and he doesn't stop until he's back at the safety of the school, even though it's likely that the creature's eyes still glow somewhere just beyond his sight. The area around St. Coletta School is known for its ancient Native American burial mounds. These mounds date back over 1,000 years ago and are said to be sacred sites. Another interesting factoid is that St. Coletta is the same place where Rosemary Kennedy was lobotomized at the whelm of her father, Joseph Kennedy, to treat her, quote, agitated depression in 1941. Now back to the stories. September 1989. A dairy farmer by the name of Scott Bray steps outside and he embraces the crisp evening air as he watches the sun dip below the horizon. He heads towards his pasture to check on his cattle one last time before nightfall, just like any other day before and the day before that. The fields are quiet, save for the faint lowing of cows and the rustle of leaves and grain catching passing gusts and rolling across the field. As Scott approaches the fence, he notices something unusual. A large, dark shape moves amongst the cattle, larger and bulkier than any dog he's ever seen. He stares out, trying to make sense of the creature's form in the fading light. Although it kind of looks like a dog, the figure stands taller than a German shepherd, with oddly pointed ears and a tail of tattered coarse hair. Its fur is a mottled mix of gray and black, and it seems to be bulkier in the front than anywhere else. Scott gasps as the creature turns its head and reveals glowing eyes that pierce through the growing shadows. For a moment, Scott freezes in place, his mind racing. What kind of wild animal is this? A wolf, perhaps? But it's too large, too menacing. Can it be menacing? Whatever this thing's intentions are, Scott's guess is that they aren't good. He's not too sure that he wants to find out either. The creature makes a move toward him, and Scott scoots back, slowly, careful not to move in any sort of way that might provoke it. The beast lets out a low growl, a sound that reverberates through the night. Scott's had enough. He turns. He runs, his boots pounding against the earth, his blood pumping as he makes a beeline for his house. When he reaches the front door, he bolts inside and slams the door shut tightly behind him. His heart races as he peers out the window, but the creature is gone. October 31st, 1991. It's a chilly Halloween night when 18-year-old Doris Gibson drives down Bray Rd near Delavan. The road is deserted. She is on her way home from a friend's house with the radio playing softly in the background. Then, her car jolts as if it's hit something. Doris yanks at the steering wheel and pulls over to the side of the road. She steps out of the car, her breath shallow and arrhythmic. She walks around to the front of the vehicle, expecting to see a deer or some kind of other animal. But there's nothing there. Confused, she looks around, her flashlight sweeping across the road and into the nearby woods. Then, she sees it. A massive wolf-like creature standing on two legs, partially hidden by the trees. Its eyes glow with an eerie light, and its fur is dark and matted. Doris freezes, her mind struggling to process what she's seeing. The creature is unlike anything she's ever encountered. It stands at least 6 feet tall, with long, sharp claws and a muscular build. For a moment, they stare at each other. The beast lets out a low growl, and Doris runs back to her car. She fumbles with the keys, her hands shaking, but finally she manages to start the engine. Foot pressed tight against the pedal, she speeds away, glancing in the rearview mirror to see the creature retreating into the shadows. Doris doesn't stop anywhere until she reaches the safety of her home. She locks the doors and windows and tucks low out of sight. She knows she's encountered something extraordinary, something that potentially terrifies her. There are several theories about what the beast-of-bray-road might be. Some believe it's a misidentified wolf or bear, while others think it could be a cryptid, a creature whose existence is suggested but not proven by science. Some locals even speculate that the beast could be a werewolf or a shapeshifter, with each observer drawing on their own personal knowledge of folklore and legends from all across the globe. January 2004. It's a bone-chilling winter night when 19-year-old Steve Kruger, a local delivery driver, is making rounds near Bray Rd. The snow-covered landscape is quiet, so quiet that all he can really hear is the sound of his tires crunching the icy road below. As he drives, his headlights illuminate a large, dark shape in the middle of the road. Steve slows down, squinting to make out whatever it is. At first, he thinks it's a large dog or a deer, but as he gets closer, he realizes it's something completely else. The creature stands on two legs, with matted fur, and it's covered in snow. It's gotta be at least 7 feet tall. Steve's heart pounds in his chest as he brings the truck to a stop. The beast turns its head, locking eyes with him. For a moment, time seems to stand still. The creature lets out a deep growl, and without warning, it lunges toward the truck. Steve slams the truck into reverse, his tires spinning on the icy road. The creature's claws scrape against the side of the truck as he speeds away. The Beast-of-Bray-Road has made its way into popular culture, inspiring books, documentaries, and even horror movies. The 2005 film, The Beast-of-Bray-Road, is a fictionalized account of the creature's legend, blending elements of horror and folklore. The beast has also been featured in various paranormal TV shows and podcasts, which are sure to help keep the legend alive for a few more generations. Speaking of keeping legends alive, we're already at 2004, but the stories definitely don't stop there. July 2012. On a warm summer night, 22-year-old Anna and her boyfriend Jake decide to take a late-night drive down Bray Rd. They've heard several of the stories and, to be honest, they want to see if they can catch a glimpse of the legendary beast of Bray Rd for themselves. As they drive, the moon casts an eerie glow over the landscape, the trees casting even longer shadows across the road. With their windows partially cracked, they can hear the sounds of crickets and occasional rustle of leaves. They drive along the moon-casted road, sharing jokes, giggling, trying to mask the sudden sense of unease that washes over them the further down they go. Suddenly, Jake slams on the brakes, the car skidding to a halt. "Did you see that?" he whispers, his voice trembling. Anna peers into the darkness. There, at the edge of the woods, stands a massive wolf-like creature on two legs. It matches the descriptions that they've heard and seen before. It has glowing eyes, matted fur, and claw-like nails. For a moment, they're a bunch of terrified mannequins, their breaths frozen in their throats, as the creature lets out another low growl. The creature lunges for Jake mere seconds after he enters his car and starts the engine. Jake and Anna speed away, the creature's glowing eyes fading in the rearview mirror. Back at their home, Anna and Jake can't shake the feeling that they've encountered something that they shouldn't have seen, something perhaps hidden, something that defies all logic. The legend of the Beast-of-Bray-Road is no longer just a story. For them, it's a chilling reality. And maybe all of those stories and all of those legends aren't meant to be campfire fodder. Maybe they're meant to be warnings. November 2018. A simple choice can forever change one's life. Tom Miller, 35, decides to take his dog for a walk along Bray Rd one night. The sun has just set, casting a golden hue over the landscape, and there's a crisp chill to the air. The weather is fair overall, and the leaves crunch underfoot as they walk. Of course, Tom's heard the stories of the Beast-of-Bray-Road, but he's always been skeptical. That's until what happens next. As they walk, his dog stops abruptly, ears perked and body tense. He follows his dog's gaze and sees a dark shape amongst the trees. His heart lumps in his throat. The figure stands taller than any animal Tom's ever seen, with pointed ears and a hair-covered tail. Its fur is a mix of gray and black, and its overall build is rather bulky. The creature turns its head, revealing glowing eyes that survey him, that size him up. The creature takes a step toward him, and Tom slowly takes one back. The beast lets out a thunderous growl, but what terrifies Tom even more is that he can't identify the creature by sight or sound. Tom turns and runs, his dog following close behind. His boots pound against the earth as he runs for his car. He swears he can hear, no feel, the heavy footsteps of the creature trailing close behind. He hops inside, slams the door shut, and smacks the keys against the ignition. Before he turns the engine over, though, he peers out the window. But the creature, whatever it is, it's gone, without a trace. Some locals believe that the Beast-of-Bray-Road has had an impact on the local wildlife. Reports of mutilated livestock and pets have been attributed to the creature, and some residents claim that the presence of the beast has caused other animals to behave strangely. While, again, there is no scientific evidence to support any of these claims, they do add to the mystique and fear surrounding the legend. The tales of the beast-of-bray-road have woven themselves into the fabric of Elkhorn, Wisconsin, creating a blend of skepticism and fear. While many dismiss the sightings as mere folklore or misidentified wildlife, the accounts from those who have encountered the creature are chillingly consistent, as evident in this episode. Some simply say that if it looks like a wolf and it howls like a wolf, then it must be a wolf. Either way, farmers speak of livestock found mutilated, their wounds too precise for any known predator. Night watchmen and teenagers recount encounters with a hulking fur-covered figure with glowing eyes and razor-sharp claws. These stories then pass down through generations, leaving an unmistakable mark on the community, or perhaps more so, curious minds outside of that community. Despite the skepticism, the eerie gravitas of the beast-of-bray-road still persist. The dense woods and isolated stretches of the road seem to hold secrets, as if there's something left to be purposefully unseen, lurking just beyond the reach of headlights. Yet there still is a lack of physical evidence, and the fantastical nature of the descriptions could cause one to doubt the existence of the beast. Nevertheless, the fear and fascination the beast inspires are undeniable. The height of the sightings occurred in the late 1980s and early 1990s, with reports gradually cooling down in the decades that followed. However, the legend continues to survive, a reminder that some mysteries are never fully solved. Or at least, some people refuse to accept the answers provided. And one last factoid before we go. The most recent reported sighting of the beast-of-bray-road occurred in 2021. A local resident claimed to have seen a large wolf-like creature standing on two legs near the edge of the woods. The sighting, like most others, was brief, but the description matched those from decades past, suggesting that the legend of the beast-of-bray-road is far from over. Thank you for checking out The Beast-of-Bray-Road, the latest episode from Less Taken, Season 3. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and please let us know what you think by leaving a fair rating wherever you're listening. You can also leave reviews at our official website, lesstakenpod.com, where we share episode notes, additional media, all of the episodes themselves, sources, and more. We also have some new Less Taken merch there, with some items being buy one, get the other 15% off. Check out the store for details. If merch isn't really your thing, you can always support the show by buying us a cup of coffee by going to buymeacupofcoffee.com/lesstakenpod. The link is in the episode notes. And be sure to follow us before we follow you on Facebook and Instagram under the handle @lesstakenpod for additional information, media, and the occasional early preview. A quick note on our storytelling. While we do our best to stick to the facts, we sometimes take creative liberties to maintain narrative cohesiveness. I'm Seam Humphreys, and this is Less Taken, real-life horror stories from the Midwest. Once again, thanks for listening, and I hope you join us next week for a preview of the next episode from Season 3.
Chase County Productions.